Protecting my peace for so long, a little too good, now I'm so low. Watching reruns of the same shows. Almost everybody I'm a no-show. Even with green lights I don't go. Never been sure, no I don't know. How does everybody else let go of the ego? Don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I could. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah. I spent so much time daydreaming. Now I don't know how I'm feeling. Don't know who's the real me. Might need my help and I thought I needed. I can see it. Need more healing. More believing. Less deceiving. I don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I could. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah. I might need therapy too. Help dilute all the bad news. Cause I just can't deal with the lose-lose situations you have to go through. I think I need therapy now. Recycling all the same doubts. Heard it a million times. Cause I tell myself all the same lies. I might need therapy too. Help dilute all the bad news. Cause I just can't deal with the lose-lose situations you have to go through. I think I need therapy now. Recycling all the same doubts. Heard it a million times. Cause I tell myself all the same lies. Don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Oh, if you would show me. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah.
We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and second chances? Empty-handed. You like the fast life, you like to drive and get down and dirty, act like the bad guy. You want some love, you like when you feel like calling a midnight. You got the best of me, you got me losing sleep. I've been hopeful, baby, I was hoping maybe that you cross my path. I've been sinking lately, and it's hard to move. open mind, hiding by myself. No guarantees you'll find me. Said if it's faith you'll find me. Leaving the past behind. We're in trances, going off to different places, different planets. Watch your aura pass me by, losing balance. What if we run out of time and taking chances? Empty-handed. I wanna know, would you love me better if I go? I'm not home. I wanna know, can we trust the stars about to let us know? How to go. Whoa.
Did everything I never do in real life. I stepped into a room, told everyone to be quiet, cause I had something to say, blew everybody away. Wear whatever I want, dressed in a gown, everybody's like, wow, where you going? Nowhere special, just going to the store. I think I'd have it all, tell you I have even more. Picking the plate, being the plate, she is unruly. Never seen her like this, didn't think it existed, no truly. Don't get in the way, she's not here to play, she'll get moody. But don't mistake this girl for being me, cause these are dream rules. This is someone else, I'm not myself, no, no. Cause these are dream rules. This is someone else, I'm not myself, no, no. Living in my dreams all night. Living in my dreams all night. Living in my dreams all night. She can make all the problems disappear. She could tell you the things you wanna hear. She could read your mind and that she could believe all the little lies to tell yourself at night. Never get it wrong, it's always right. Making the plate, being the plate, she is unruly. Never seen her like this, didn't think it existed, no truly. Don't get in the way, she's not here to play, she'll get moody. But don't mistake this girl for being me, cause these are dream rules. This is someone else, I'm not myself, no, no. Cause these are dream rules. This is someone else, I'm not myself, no, no. Living in my dreams, 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 living in my
Peace, peace, peace. Peace, everyone, for coming in. Peace, everybody that's coming in. Make sure that you all like, share, and subscribe. Once you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell so you'll always get notifications when we go live. All right? we're going to definitely get this thing started because y'all know me. I just really be minding my business on these internet streets, and someone will say something. So my inspiration really sparks from the conversations that I'm having, whether it be in the real physical world or this virtual world that we've all created collectively. Right. So first I rise, giving all perfect praise to our Father God Allah, honors to his holy divine prophet Noble Drew Ali. Right. Because if it really wasn't for Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I would not know. I honestly would not. And this is just my story. Because this is not everybody's story, but I, K. Glover Ill, would not know what a Moorish American is. I wouldn't know anything about my nationality or my birthrights. So honors, definitely big ups to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to each and every one of you all that comes out and supports every time that we go live. Give honors to all of y'all that come on the panel to participate. I give honors to my ancestors, my parents, and my husband, Brother Richard Neal Bay, who actually brought me a gift in here about an hour ago. That just really confirmed what it is that I'm going to be going in and teaching today, on direct subject of actually what I'm going to be teaching today. He found something on the ground in our front yard as he was cleaning up the yard today. All right. So, of course, like I said, it always starts off with the inspiration of just conversations that we're having daily on either social media or in the real world. And it started out with this conversation that I commented on someone's post on Facebook. All right. So I want to definitely say shout out to this brother. He is always positive. He's always bringing a sense of humor and sensibility, really light, airy feel. But this brother is always bringing something that is on the positive for Moors to conversate and commune with together. And he's just really, really uplifting. All right. So, Brother Smith Bay. Shout out to Brother Antonio Smith Bay. All right. So the other day he posted this. He said, interestingly enough, it was the Turks who adopted a good majority of Moabite Moroccan emblems, crescent and star, red flag, and fez. Now, the 24th was Sunday. And Sunday, during Sunday school, I actually was teaching on the crescent, moon, and star. We went and we took it all the way back to Sumer with the Sumerians, right? We was able to tie it into the Akkadians and coming down the coastline from France, which was Acadia, right? Which was in Canada, coming all the way down to the sea islands of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida, right? Being able to tie the same people in because they are the same people with the same cultural practices. There is never a coincidence when you see the same thing from what looks like to be different communities, because that's the way that we are taught, that these are different communities. And in this community, we're taught to not to think that they are together, right? That's the miseducation part. However, we was able to tie it in, like I said, with the Muskogee Confederacy down south, right? With the Seminoles, with the Creeks, with the Cherokees, etc., right? So I made a comment to his post and I said, facts, the original Turks were in South Carolina, right? So then brother came back, good brother. Let me turn this off so y'all can see the screen. All right, so that is the original post. And then I came back and I shared, and someone asked another question. Right, and that question was, from Jalil Mullins Bay, who asks, K. Gloveril, what? Turks are from Central Asia. And I said, awesome. Would you like to have a discussion about this subject? And then he responded, said, I would like to know what you meant. And I said, initially, you didn't ask a question, you made a statement. That's why I asked if you would like to discuss this subject. So another brother, Akil Bay, came and said, need more info on that subject. So our brother Jeff Evans came and said he may be referring to the old South Carolina flag. It was a red flag with 2 tails and a white crescent moon with a 5-pointed star in the center. And so we discussed the subject some more. Bring up the next screen. All right. And so what I did was I had put up Saudi Arabia's emblem and the emblem of, or the seal of South Carolina from 1777. All right. And so I responded to Jeff Evans. I said, awesome primary source. And then Akil Bay came back. He said, wanted to make sure it was matching up. So Jeff Evans came. He said, I don't understand the connection with the emblems. Please demonstrate. I said, Jeff Evans, the emblems are self-explanatory. They both have palmetto trees with an X at the bottom, sir. And so Jeff Evans said, understood. Now, how was the quote-unquote original Turks in South Carolina? Said, I'm not sure who the quote-unquote original Turks are. However, you can join the discussion on the original Turks of South Carolina. And I put up this post, or I put up this invitation for this discussion that we're having right now. Okay. So as always, we want to give context, right? Because we understand that social media is a public display. Social media is a public matter. So we just don't want to put information out and not provide further understanding into what it is that we're saying. So I want to start off today with a brother who is always putting out information about America being the true old world, right? And this is Brother Chavez Ill. I hope that I'm pronouncing his name correctly. But he has a book on Amazon that you can go purchase. It's called America is the True Old World. I want everybody to stop what you're doing right now. Go over to his website and support him. Like I said, he is always putting out great information on America being the true old world. Okay. So some time ago, he had put up ancient Turkey was in South Carolina. Now, a while ago, I was actually teaching on the subject. Matter of fact, a couple of Sunday schools a while back, I was teaching this in Sunday school. And we was tying it into a lesson about the Turks. And we understand that Turkey or Turks, another name for Turks is Berber, right? We also know that there was a map in 1491. Now, they said that Columbus didn't discover America until 1492, but we have a map from 1491 that displays America, and it is titled The Barbarous Tribes of the barbarous tribes east of the Mississippi, right? And this is 1491. But again, they say that Columbus didn't discover here until 1492, which is confusing, right? So we know that when they're talking about Berber or Turk, right, that those are other names for Moors, right? We also know that when they called us barbarous was because we would not accept Catholicism, right? We would not go under the banner of Christendom. So we're going to go a little bit into South Carolina and the original Turks today. So in his post, ancient Turkey was in South Carolina. Some of the things that he brought out was definitely information about the Sumter or the Sumer Turks in South Carolina. So if you go back, if you go to our Mighty Networks app and you go in there, you go to Sunday school, you'll see where I actually did the genealogy of this family. All right, so I went back as far as I could go, and I want to say it probably was maybe about 6 or 7 generations, and it went back to the progenitor being from the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, right? So if we look here with the Ottoman Empire and these Turks, right, and this is from the Smithsonian Magazine, right? It's titled Tracing the Mysterious Turks of South Carolina Back to the Revolutionary War. For generations, this ethnic group was shunned, but new research sheds light on its origins. Now, this is what they look like, right? And these don't look like Turks that we see today at all. As a matter of fact, these look like the Turks that's in the Turks and Caicos, right? And those Turks look just like us today. This is a 1903 photograph of family and relatives of Noah Beniala or Beni Hali and his wife, Rosa Beniali, both descendants of Joseph Beniali. Sumter County or Summer County or Sumer County, located in South Carolina's Midlands, is about an hour and a half from the Atlantic coast in one direction and from the Blue Ridge in the other. Named after General Sumter, the fighting Gamecock, a Revolutionary War fame. It's a place like many in the historic Black Belt, the stretch of former slaveholding plantations that extends from Dallas to Delaware. Sumter County has also been the traditional home to a community of dark-skinned people known historically and derivatively as the Turks. Now, the thing about this is when it talks about slave-owned states and former slave owners, we know that in the 1700s, all the way up to 1865, the slave owners looked like us. South Carolina had the most slaves. And South Carolina's plantations that was owned, South Carolina's slave owners looked just like the Benialis, right? Says the story of this community, who preferred to be called the Turkish people, shows how hard it can be to be considered American, even when roots run deep. The Turk community has always traced this history back to an Ottoman refugee. An Ottoman refugee who reputedly served the colonial cause in the Revolutionary War. A brief version of their traditional narrative holds that a Caucasian of Arab descent known as Joseph Beniali or Yusuf bin Ali, possibly his Ottoman name, made his way to South Carolina, where he served as a scout for General Sumter during the American Revolution. The grateful general then gave Beni Ali or Beni Hali some land on his plantation to farm and raise a family. The story went. A few outsiders married in, but most who identified with the ostracized community and their progeny considered themselves people of Turkish descent. Amazingly, they preserved as an enclosed society numbering several hundred persons in the area by the mid-20th century. For many years, the Turkish people's origin story was usually considered no more than myth, a fable, concocted to sustain an out-group through unpleasant realities of hard history. In 1973, a historian put it this way: a stranger visiting Sumter County today may come across a baffling breed called Turks. So meager are the facts relating to them that the wildest conjectures based on what must surely be flighting of fancy and geographical ignorance have been advanced to support their origin. Still, members of the group persisted in claiming Turkish descent. And now we, a political scientist and in Turkish descent, have confirmed the group's traditional narrative and beleaguered history through original research and oral interviews. The Turkish people didn't fit cleanly into the broad black versus white paradigm in that part of South Carolina. They adhered to an ancestral understanding that they were white people. But outside the Zazzle area where most lived, they were shunned. Like their black neighbors, they were subject to insults, intimidation, and systemic oppression. The Turkish people had to go to federal court to be able to send their children to white schools. During the 1950s, and only in the past few decades, have they begun to enjoy things like getting jobs, getting good jobs in mainstream society, accessing healthcare at local hospitals, shopping at community businesses, or participating in Little League baseball without being turned away or treated as second-class citizens. See, this is what integration will do. You see, it said in the 1950s that this is integration. So who exactly were these Turkish people? Were they really on Ottomans, Turks descendants who had endured as a distinct ethnic community against long odds in backwoods Carolina? The Turkish people have always been extremely skittish about genetic testing, but we obtained DNA sequences for 8 direct descendants of the supposed patriarch Joseph Ben Ali. Though such testing has its problems, it can be useful in combination with other research. In this case, the results of the 8 subjects were consistent with ancestry, including a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, North African progenitor, with substantial white European admixture, some evidence of Native American linkages, and no significant sub-Saharan African contribution. We also compiled a genealogical census of 270 Joseph Ben Ali's descendants who lived in the Dazzle area during the 1800s, a number we deem sufficient to judge the social character of that family settlement in its formative generations. The accounting showed important patterns. People with Ben Ali last name comprised slightly over half, 51% of the individuals in the group, and 6 intermarried families accounted for almost all of the names in the confined community. This was consistent with the stories we heard about a community that has always revolved around family, their school, their church, their farms, and whatever jobs they could find in the Dazzle area. Finally, we surveyed graveyards at the 2 churches that served as principal places of worship for the Turkish people during the 1900s. And our account of Ben Ali's buried in both was equally impressive. Ben Ali's again comprised a slightly majority, 51% of interbred individuals, and the same 6 family surnames accounted for virtually all the individuals resting in peace in those cemeteries. Also, few individuals with Turkish community names were buried outside the Dazzle area, attesting to the isolation of that group. All these findings and others suggest very strongly that the Turkish people did indeed endure as an enclosed ethnic community, originating from Joseph Ben Ali and known as the Turks in rural South Carolina for almost 2 centuries. Getting Turkish elders to talk about themselves was a difficult task. Bad memories still bothered many of them. As one scholar reported in the 1970s, the mood of the community strictly opposes any source of historical investigation. The people will tell any would-be historian that they don't know anything. Don't think that anyone else does either. Don't see any point in it and think that he should go talk to some other member of the community. However, 4 brave souls, Boaz, Helen, Jean, and Tony, talked to us about their personal lives and community experience. Our discussions with the Turkish people about their origins ramble owing to the fuzzy interplay of ancestry and ethnicity. Still, all four stated that they were white people of Turkish descent, and they related their origins to General Sumter having brought their ancestors to Sumter County. Boaz explained their confidence and pride in the traditional narrative. I assume I accept it just like anyone else who would have been from whatever ethnic background they were from, he said. That's who I am, and I hold my head high. Regarding their isolation, Boaz speculated that each of the ethnic group in Sumter County probably just felt more comfortable being with people like themselves. I don't want to have anything to do with you just as much as you don't want to have anything to do with me, he said. But despite this explanation of mutual disdain, it was clear that Boaz and others viewed white discrimination as the main cause of the extended lonely history of this community. He noted with sadness that the Turkish boys and girls were not allowed on teams like the American Legion baseball teams, those types of things. The segregation was almost as bad as the segregation of the blacks. Not as bad, but bad enough. Tony remembered having to stay out of school for a year during the integration movement. It was awful, she said. You never knew what they were going to say to you or what they were going to do to you. Even the teachers were prejudiced. Traumatic kids calling you Turk. If they were the only ones on a seat, they would put their books on the other side of the bus so that you couldn't sit there and dare you to move them. Helen told a story about a white hairstylist who wouldn't cut a dark Turkish teenager's hair. John described a traumatic Ku Klux Klan rampage during which somebody burned a cross on his father's yard. We were afraid to go outside the house, she recalled. When asked about their relationships with the black people, the Turkish elders had little to say and spoke nothing negative. They would compare the ways whites treated them to the ways whites treated blacks. Apparently, the two minority populations had always harbored resentment against the white establishment, and this served to mute whatever grievances they had against each other. That's because they're the same people. The Turks, right, are the Moors. They continue to uphold their Islamic values and traditions, where the black people went under the banner of Christianity. Difference. And this is why they don't talk about each other. Right? They don't talk about each other because they're the same people. Says today's Turkish people are not as close as in the past. Life is better in the 21st century. Most now marry outsiders. Many have moved to other areas, either to start a family or to attend college and begin careers. Those who have strayed say that generally they are treated right in Sumter County. The strange story of the Turkish people is important, not only for the related recognition and dignity of that community, but also a compelling addition to our understanding of the American experience. The persistence of Joseph Beniali's descendants and the experiences of the people like Boaz, Helen, Sean, and Tony illustrate that for some people, becoming American is a long and difficult ordeal. Right? And this, again, is the Smithsonian magazine. I'm going to put this link in the chat for y'all so y'all can check it out. But as you can see, the Benialis, right? Turks, born and raised. Right here. If this is the Moorish Empire, this is the Ottoman Empire. I don't know why it's so hard for us to realize that we the mothers and fathers of this whole thing. You know, it kicked off right here. You know, we and you know, in our meetings and Sunday schools, we talk about how the Moors was this great empire. But for some reason, we want to equate an empire to a very small space in northern Eurasia. Literally. That's where the empire begins and ends in most of our minds and how we've been taught in the temples. That the empire, now we're talking about an empire. The empire is northern Eurasia. It makes no sense whatsoever, right? Peace to everybody that's coming in. Right, Nil Bay, man of original race equals more. That's right, His Majesty the Magnificent Ill. America is the true old world. Shout out to my mods that's coming on. That's right, to the world class Islam. Y'all go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to the world class. World class, put your link in the chat so everybody can definitely subscribe to your channel. He has a lot of real world discussions in a real world class way. All right, he goes in and pretty much dissects and reviews a lot of the information that's being displayed today in real conversations. Peace. Amen. Ahava. Gratitude for coming on. Right? So that's the Beni Ali's, right? So let's get some more to these ancient Turks. Let's look at some more of these ancient Turks. Because see, we don't believe for some reason. And in our minds, you know, the Turkish people, they are from that kingdom or that outpost of Turkey that was established not too long ago. And that doesn't make logical sense at all. So we're going to go to encyclopedia.com. And this is the Columbian Exchange. I'm going to drop down here where it's going to go into speaking about the Turks. All right. Went past it. Let me see. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to start right here. It says it was in the Mediterranean area where New World plants had their earliest acceptance. So they're calling here the New World. Where New World plants had their earliest acceptance. The Mediterranean Sea served as a background for the struggle between the Ottoman Turks and the Spanish Habsburgs in the 16th century, right? Now, we all know we're talking about Spain and the Habsburgs. Right, we already know that we are talking about King Charles, right? King Charles II of Spain and the Habsburgs. Right? We normally talk about the Habsburg chin because it's very, very distinctive, the Habsburg chin. So we're talking about Christianity versus Islam. Right? When it says the Mediterranean Sea served as a background for the struggle between the Ottoman Turks and the Spanish Habsburgs in the 16th century. So this is the 1500s. These two empires played a dominant role in the region and were probably the most important distributors of American plants in the Mediterranean countries. Now, we know for sure that in 1491, the barbarous tribes, the Berbers, the Moors, was already over here, because this is our home. America is the true old world. And we allowed for our crops to go to northern Eurasia. That means that we had the drop on the imports and the exports going directly from here to northern Eurasia. All right. So when it says the two empires played a dominant role in the region and were probably the most important distributors of the American plants in the Mediterranean countries, we were the dominant. And we stopped being the dominant when we were finally taken over in the early 1900s, not too many years after the World's Fair in Chicago, when the entire world decided, you know what, we're just going to overtake the original landowners in the United States of America. And they did. So when we look at, it says the role played by the Turks is evident. And the nomenclature of American plants in the 16th century. Maize appeared in European herbals with the name of Turkish grain. Right? Turkish grain, or bleedi tarik, or Turkisher corn. Turkisher corn. So corn was named Turkish. I put a post up a while ago and showed Turkish corn. Now we know that corn or maize is indigenous to it right here, right? So why would they call it Turkish corn if they didn't get it from Turkey? If they didn't get it from Turkey. It says the chili pepper was called Turkish red pepper. Why would they call the chili pepper Turkish red pepper if they didn't get it from Turkey, from the Turks, from right here? And squash was known as Turkish cucumber. Turkish cucumber. Why would they call it Turkish cucumber if they didn't get it from the Turks, from right here? Even the American turkey received its well-known name in English at this time, when it was called the turkey bird. The turkey bird. All right? They called it the turkey bird because it was from Turkey over here. right? Also known as the Ottoman Empire, the Moorish Empire, the Orient, Morocco, etc. We know the original Morocco was in Florida. You've already seen the map. Islam. Yes, brother Amin, it is Beni Ali. Beni Ali. I put the link in the chat. You can grab it. Yep, the Beni Alis. I did their genealogy. I went back about 7 generations. And it went back to the Ottoman Empire. Because that's where we are. We've been home. All right. So that is the drop on Turkey actually being from here, according to the food source. According to the food source, why would you have so many foods named Turkey if it's not from the Turks? And why would the original Turks be from here? I mean, why are you calling food Turkish or Turkey if it's not from the people called the Turks? Islam? I'm going to put this link in the chat for y'all too. This is the encyclopedia. You can grab that. All right, anybody that want to come up, you can on the panel. We'll put the link in the chat. All right, so the next thing I'm going to share is what the Beni Allahs look like. What they look like. We'll get some more into what they was looking like. This is Matilda Beni Ali. Yeah, this is Matilda. Man, she look like us today, don't she? And this is what she looked like. She looked a lot like us. I mean, don't she look like us? And she don't look like she don't look like what they call Turks today over in Turkey, in modern day Turkey, dude. She look just like us. I mean, she even resembled the Turks from the Turks and Caicos. All right. I'm going to put this link in the chat for you as well, so you can grab this whenever you want to. Right. His Majesty, the Magnificent Ill, she look original, like us, the originals. All right, let's get into some of these maps. So here is the map that the brother was talking about. This is a secession map. Flag, not map, y'all. My bad. This is the secession flag. It says 1860. The right of secession is simply government by consent. Without the right of secession, freedom evaporates and government rules by force. Right. This is South Carolina's map in 1860. This was before, say it again, this was before the Great Rebellion now. So if they're flying this flag right before the Great Rebellion kicks off, who is it that's flying this flag? The Turks. The original Turks are flying this flag. Let's look some more. Let's get some more flags. Here's another flag. Peace, brother Amin Ahava. Welcome to the panel.
Islam. Peace and
Islam.
love.
Peace and love.
I was just in my mind deliberating on this Matilda portion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Pale Europeans came out with the Matilda movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it looked just like her. That's what Matilda looked like. Mm-hmm.
And
Hair,
now it's this
clothing and everything. Look just like her, yep.
and I was very fond of the Matilda movie storyline growing up. I cannot lie.
Mm-hmm.
And now it makes sense. It would make sense for them to pull this storyline of this telekinesis child.
That's right.
It would make sense that this child is an Asiatic
That's right.
of Turkish descent.
Come on now.
And if we really paying attention to the storyline, the people that was around her was wrongdoers.
That's right.
She was the only pure one. Islam. I yield. Gratitude for that a portion. It's like also with the Marie Antoinette. This stuff makes sense to me now that my mama used to like these movies.
Okay.
It makes sense now. Because if we are speaking of people who are now they showing pale people on the screen.
That's
But if
right.
they actually talking about Maurice or Moorish, right? I completely understand why we have such an ability to navigate to these scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Gratitude for exposing Matilda, sis. The panel.
Mashallah. Yeah, more they always they always showing us without telling us that they're talking about us. But yeah, the Matilda story definitely is about us. It's definitely about us. And she had the power to be able to move things with her mind. But that's where it all starts, right? Thought be the cause of it all.
This is truth.
Islam.
As our brother chairman went in, what you laying down with? It's in the mind first. That brother went in.
Right. It's in the mind. So here we have the Confederate flag banner. This is the second national flag of the Confederate States of America. Named the stainless banner, use national flag proportion, right? It was adopted May 1st, 1863. This was the Confederate flag, 1863. So if this is the entire Confederate flag,
This is
right,
not
which was the Confederate banner for the entire Confederate States of America, then all these southern states that was fighting against the Union is fighting against this banner. These are the original Turks. These are the original Turks. Why would they be flying this flag? Why would they be flying this banner if it ain't theirs? Make it make sense. Man.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Do you know where else I've seen this symbol at, sis?
What seen it?
This is also the Carthaginian banner. It's just flipped to the side. How the brothers in the Nation of Islam demonstrate. That's all, but it's still the same symbol.
Where do you think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad got it from?
Islam, his American heritage.
Islam. Islam.
Hey, that brother Elijah Muhammad demonstrated with his ABDAP degree. I can't stun on the brother. He demonstrated with his degree. He exercised his portion. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. He was born in Georgia. But you don't think he didn't know about who he was? Come on now. Come on.
The Asiatic states of North America. That's what I see.
It's wrong. Exactly. Peace Quantum University for coming on. Yeah, more. This is the Confederate flag banner. Why would they be flying this flag if this ain't them?
Second national flag of the Confederate States of America. And then that's not even the same thing they called the Confederacy that they taught us in school. They call that something else. I have to go look at that.
They called it the Confederate Army. But they didn't teach us that the Confederate Army actually had a confederation, like it had a government. You know, they made us
Right. They taught
just
us that they was rebels.
right. Oh yeah, they was just an army. They was some rebels. You know, that's what they called the wild Indians always. Anyway, rebels, savages. You know, Moors, wild Turks. Yeah, a lot of names for us.
Gratitude for this portion. Islam, I yield. Look, sis, if we can get you to come on once a day, subhanAllah.
Oh, that's not a lot. Look, y'all need to drop some money in the Cash App. The Cash App is going across the screen. If y'all want me to come on every day, y'all gonna have to get some donations to the Cash App. I am taking out my time from working. Y'all need to put some Cash App money in the Cash App. Y'all want me to come every day. Islam.
Islam.
So here we go. If everybody can do, you could do $3, you could do $5. Put something, you could do $1. Put something in the Cash App. Y'all want me to come on every day?
Put it in the pot. Let's send that plate around.
Come on now. All right, so here we go. Oh man. This is the exotic map of the U.S.A. The U.S.A. exotic map. Now, a lot of times people are like, oh, you know, that map ain't real. That's fake map. If it's a fake map, why is it held at the University of California? When universities start holding on to fake maps?
Well, never mind.
Yeah. This is actually at the University of California, an exotic map of the U.S. All right, so we got Turkey right here in the Carolinas, Turkey. Let me blow it up. Turkey. Right here. How we get Turkey? If this ain't really Turkey. We're just making it up as we go, huh? Because I know we bought into everything from being across the water. We bought into that. It's been cute. It's been cute for a long time. And now we know the truth. So when you know the truth, you know you got to do better.
Doubling.
Yeah, when you know the truth, you got to do better.
Hey, how old is this map, sis?
This I think it was the 1960s. They put this map in the University of California.
They put it in there. Greece, Turkey, Palestine, England, Morocco, Madrid. Oh wow, Madrid.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the link.
Ooh, Peru. Oh, Peru. I thought that was just only in South America. I did not know.
Okay.
See now, remember I used to talk about that Jerusalem thing? I was on to something, but now I'm really on it. It's next to Moab.
Right.
I'm on his heels. Yeah.
I'm gonna put this link so you can always have the source, because I ain't just making it up.
Samoa. Brazil. Oh wow. Denmark. The Danish.
All right. So then we got the
Yeah.
we got some more flags. Now this is a source from Wikipedia, but it's a true source because they sourced it, and it's real. It's not one of those fake ones. I really don't like Wikipedia, but when Wikipedia is right, it's right. All right. Now look at this Liberty flag. This is South Carolina. This is South Carolina. You see the flag that says Liberty with the crescent moon? That's South Carolina. You see the blue flag with the palmetto tree and the crescent moon? That's South Carolina.
Islam.
Most of these flags on here is South Carolina. Let's see. 159. 159 is South Carolina. That's the palmetto tree with the crescent moon flag. Of course, the Liberty flag is South Carolina. And then 155. The red flag with the blue cross in the middle with the palmetto tree and the crescent moon, South Carolina. So they're just adopting any type of flag without any meaning behind it? Where they do that at? Well, we're just gonna adopt it because it look cute, huh? So here is the seal of South Carolina that I was initially speaking about in the post when we was on Facebook. And you see, like I said, the palmetto tree with the X at the bottom. Now this is from 1777. And the X actually is bunches of arrows. 1777 now, right? Then you have Saudi Arabia goes and adopts this as their emblem, and that was in
a palm tree,
1932. Palmetto tree.
A palmetto tree?
Yeah, 1932.
What they doing that for?
Right, like palmettos are indigenous to Saudi Arabia.
I've never seen the European program put. No, they always got them joints in California, the tropics. I've never seen that portion in the desert. That don't mean it's not there. I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then the cross, of course.
Yeah, it actually got a version of it called the Carolina palmetto. That's how distinct it is. And this was adopted in 1932, this emblem for Saudi Arabia. However, the emblem or the seal for South Carolina was adopted in 1777. So how could we ever be copying off of anyone? You know, that's what I really love about being an American is that I know I'm a direct descendant of all the originals, all the true Americans. Y'all, one thing about me is I don't bite off of nobody. And I don't like to bite off of nobody. Like, that's just always been me. So when I found out that I was actually really a true American, what? Oh man, I didn't have to go to Africa. Oh man, I'm actually home. Man, when I found that out right there, it was on. It was on and popping for me. Yeah, so how they get the palmetto tree with the X at the bottom? Where did they get that idea from? Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, pseudo. Pseudo is what we've been learning in the school system, in the education system. We've been learning a lot of pseudo history. That's what they've been teaching us. It's the pseudo history. So we're gonna go into this state flag some more. Right, let's get into these crescents. Where they coming from? Why are we seeing all these crescents? This is from the Charleston County Public Library. Shout out to Charleston, South Carolina. Charlestown. Right? The town of the Hacksburgs. Heard that. Charlestown. Uh-oh. Says the state flag of South Carolina, a banner of hope and resilience. Banner of hope and resilience. Says a recent publication of a report about the state flag of South Carolina had inspired many citizens to express their displeasure with proposed changes to its design. You know, they always want to change history, y'all. I mean, daggone, they want to wipe us out. The more and more we put pieces to the puzzle together, the more and more they want to change it and be like, yeah, you know, that was racism. And, you know, that was racism. We want to change it because Black Lives Matter. They took Robert E. Lee's statue down and everything. They getting rid of all the real ones. Because the real Robert E. Lee, he was darker than me. Alright, the real Robert E. Lee. And that man has so many medals. I ain't never seen that many medals before in my life. In my life. So dang, they let that Asiatic man walk around the South with all the medals on like that and ain't did nothing to him. Ain't did nothing to him. And he just get to walk around the South like that? With all those medals? Come on now. Talk about he was the cook. The General Robert E. Lee. Y'all gonna stop playing. Says the Palmetto State has one of the most recognizable flags in the nation. And no one wants to diminish its acknowledged visual appeal. Less familiar, however, are the details of the flag's creation. Here they go. And the meaning of its distinctive crescent and palmetto tree. Today we'll explore the background of flags and symbols in early South Carolina that led to the creation of a proud blue banner of hope and resilience. All right, it says, let's go down to the heraldic background. The crescent and the palmetto tree on the state flag of South Carolina are symbols rooted in ancient language. Rooted in ancient language. So when they say in modern day Islam, the crescent moon and star flag is not one of their flags, they don't got nothing to do with their Islam. They not lying. Those are new people over there. I don't care how much we want to run to them and their scholars, their students, as if they got the end all be all, man. It started here. Everything started here. So I'm going back to ground zero. I'm going back to where it started. We got to start looking outside ourselves, accept who we are, and build on that. Because everyone in the world, look how many thousands of people, there's over 9 million people that came through here since the beginning of the year. 9 million. 9 million. When they running up through, they running on trains to get in here. And we trying to run somewhere else. We try to run somewhere else. Everybody in the world want to be here. It says, the flag of South Carolina are symbols rooted in ancient language of pictographs that arose in Western Europe many centuries ago. In England, the parent nation of South Carolina, this language is usually identified under the term heraldry. Although the people of early Carolina inherited the language and traditions and heraldry from the colony's English roots, the practice was derived from a shared vocabulary of symbols familiar to earlier cultures such cultures of Saxons, Danes, Franks, Gauls, Romans, Greek, Pyrrhonians, Egyptians, and others. So basically it started over here. When they say Franks, come on, y'all know Franks. That's easy. That's Canada. That's Nova Scotia. That's the Akkadians, Sumerians. That's easy. That's the Micmacs. That's the Gulays or the Galas. The Timacoas. The Skokies. Same people. Says the art of the language of heraldry, complete with its own syntax and vocabulary of symbols and figures, was first applied to the defensive shields carried into battle by warriors, knights, and persons of quality. For this reason, a heraldic design used by a specific individual or family is known as coat of arms. I keep telling y'all, when you change your name, you change your coat of arms. Each family, each society, each company, each organization has its own original coat of arms. Islam? So you can't change your family name coat of arms. Whatever was already established in the olden times for your family's name coat of arms is the established coat of arms. You can't change that because you want to. In the late 15th century, the English monarchy established an office, now called the College of Arms, to collect and regulate the use of heraldic designs among the nobility and their knights. Firearms rendered battle shields superfluous around the turn of the 16th century, and the tradition of designing heraldic shields evolved into a largely ceremonial practice. Possessions of an officially recognized coat of arms, once restricted to the high ranks of English society, became an increasingly desirable status symbol that identified its owner as a member of the gentile class of ladies and gentlemen. The crescent, for example, is an ancient symbol. The crescent, for example, is an ancient symbol. The crescent, for example, is an ancient symbol that has been used by many different cultures. As its name and shape suggests, the crescent refers to a crescent moon, which forms part of a group of heraldic devices known as celestials. Celestials, including the sun, stars, comets, etc. The points of horns of a crescent normally point upward, but other orientations have been used in the distant past. A crescent rotated, listen to this, it's giving you the science breakdown. A crescent rotated 90 degrees to a viewer's left. The most common variation resembles a waxing crescent moon, or increscent in Latin, from which we derive the word increasing. Less frequently, the crescent may be turned to the viewer's right, resembling a waning moon, or decrescent, the root of the word decreasing. The infrequently seen upside down crescent is called a crescent reverse, where the upright or increscent position, the ancient meaning of a heraldic symbol, remains constant. No matter how you see it placed, it remains constant. The crescent, representing the waxing harvest moon, expresses the hope of increasing prosperity, or the hope of a future glory. In the words of one heraldic expert writing in 1765, the waxing crescent signifies the rising of families, and even of states, for which reason is bore and sold by the Turks. Man, y'all better stop playing with me, because we see that crescent moon not once but twice on the front cover of the questionnaire for Moorish American children. The Turks bore this crescent for the increasing of the families, with the prophet upholding the Moabites, because as she rises, the nation rises. Get out of your beginners and self-level research and understanding. Go deeper. It is much deeper than what we have been told and taught. Get in these libraries. Stop being lazy. Just listening to your grand chief. Just listening to your grand governors. Because I don't know everything. And neither do they. Get this work. Prophet Noble Drew Ali wasn't playing. He was divinely prepared. Woo. Peace, brother Supreme Magnetic. I'm from Sumter, South Carolina. Peace. Man, y'all think it's a joke. Said the Turks bore the crescent. The crescent represented either the increase or the decrease of the family. You think it's a coincidence right here? You see this crescent with this bushel of arrows? It's not a coincidence. It says to understand the design and meaning of the state flag of South Carolina, we'll need a few more terms from the arsenal of heraldry and vexillology to inform our narrative. In describing the coat of arms of flag, the background shape and color are known as the the escutcheon or escutcheon or fill. That's the main background cover of the coat of arms. Onto this fill are placed one or more figures called charges, and often a shape like a chevron or a lozenge, known as an ordinary, because men pass their coat of arms to their sons. Men pass their coat of arms to their sons. This is why the women took on the name of their husbands, still do to this day. It says, the practice of heraldry adopted a visual vocabulary to indicate the sequence of their births. The system of cadency employed various symbols to indicate the first son, second son, and so on to the ninth male heir. The traditional cadence symbol for a second son like me is a crescent, while the symbol of the third son like George Washington is a 5-pointed star called a mulet, as seen on the flag of the United States of America. Y'all just thinking that these symbols are just put on these coat of arms, on these flags, just because, you know, it's cute. That look cute right there. I'm just gonna put that on there. Every color, every star, every crescent moon, every image, every symbol has a direct meaning. Said, I'll mention a few local examples to illustrate these points. The coat of arms borne by the first Lieutenant Governor William Bull of South Carolina featured a red field with a single charge in the center. A man's arms holding an upright sword. Above this echelon appeared a crest featuring a bull. The second Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina was the second son of the arms used by the governor. Used by the father. Added a crescent to the field of his coat of arms to indicate his cadency. The design of the coat of arms used by Governor John Rutledge, by contrast, included a white field charge with 3 red crescents divided or parted by a chevron, all of which were surmounted by a crest featuring an additional red crescent. So here it is, right? You got the 3 governors, which represents the red crescent. Then you have them broken up into each cadence. So you got the blue, red, blue, right? Then over top, you have the single red crescent showing the father. Man, come on, y'all. We gotta stop playing with this stuff. This stuff is us throwing in our face every day. And we sit here and we play around with it. As if our forefathers and foremothers didn't create this. We play around with it. As if we ain't got no parts of it. Talking about we going back somewhere. Are we going back home? He's talking about going back somewhere. Why we all rushing to go back home? I want to go down here. Where it talks about the origin of the crescent flag. The origin of the crescent flag in 1775 during the early morning hours of September 15, 1775. A detachment from the South Carolina 2nd Regiment captured Fort Johnson on James Island without resistance. In the course of the following weeks, other companies from both the 1st and the 2nd Regiments moved across Charleston Harbor and camped around the fort. Here, I'll let William Moultrie tell his famous story about the creation of South Carolina's state flag. At that moment, Colonel Moultrie was the command of both the 1st and the 2nd Regiments. As Christopher Gasson, colonel of the 1st Regiment, was then in Philadelphia attending the Continental Congress. In his memoirs published in 1802, Moultrie recalled the creation of the state flag in the following words. A little time after we were in possession of Fort Johnson, it was thought necessary to have a flag for the purpose of signals. I was desired by the Council of Safety to have one made. The Council of Safety, listen to this now. Upon which, as the state troops were clothed in blue, and the fort was garrisoned by the 1st and 2nd regiments, who wore a silver crescent. On the front of their caps. They wore a silver crescent on the front of their caps. Like we wear a crescent, moon, and star on the front of our turbans, sisters. You thought that was just to be cute? You thought that was just to be cute, huh? It said I had a large blue flag made with the crescent and the dexter corner to be in uniform with the troops. This was the first American flag which displayed in South Carolina. This was the first American flag which displayed in South Carolina. Let's go to this flag. First one. That's what it looked like. The crescent moon. First one displayed in South Carolina. First American flag. First American flag displayed was in South Carolina. Nowhere else in South Carolina. Crescent moon. Right? Now look at South Carolina's money. South Carolina's money. 2 pounds, 10 shillings. Right? Approved by the Provincial Congress, 1775. Look at the crescent moon. With what? What do we see here? What do we see? What do we see here? The crescent moon with what? The 2 swords. Well, daggone it. Where did Saudi Arabia get it from? Y'all gonna stop playing. I'm done. I could end right here. Peace, young God. I'm done. I could end this right here. I could really just end this right here. Be more, stand up. That's my husband always say, be more. I always tell him, you know, from Baltimore, we don't say be more. We just say Baltimore. My husband, he ain't from there, so he always say, be more, be more, be more. 1775, y'all. We're just gonna. No, we ain't just doing nothing. This is what it is. It's what it's been. America is the true old world. You gotta stop playing. So here we go. Got a map for us. Uh-oh, I got a map for us, y'all. Library of Congress. Oh, I'm gonna put that, I'm gonna put the Charleston Library link in the chat for you as well. You can grab that anytime you want to. All right, here we are, the Library of Congress, a new map of the Cherokee Nation with the names of the new towns and rivers. They are situated on number latitude from 34 to 36. Let's get it. Now, y'all know I love my maps. Y'all know I love my maps. So with this map, I found, where is it at? Here we go. Come on now. I found Little Turkey. Right? Turkey is spelled Terriquo, Little Turkey. Or Turkey. And then over here we got Great Turkey or Turkey. Right? And I was like, man, you know, that's more like a French spelling. You know, once you read so many of these ancient documents, you get to tell the difference between the different languages because you're reading them all the time, so you kind of can figure out what language is what. And so this is Cherokee Nation. So you got North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee or Tennessee, pretty much all Western Florida or West Florida, they called it. And I found Little Terriquo or Turkey and Great Terriquo or Turkey, right? And Turkey is in different variations. So one of the variations that we see Turkey in is Taci, right? Taci. And Taci or Taki is where I found that great chief. Yeah, I found Chief. And when I showed my husband, he was like, wow. I found Chief, and I really don't believe that we understand. I know we don't understand. Right? This is Chief of Turkey Town. This is Alabama, Turkey Town, right? So here he is, Chief Turkey or Chief Cherokee, right? Or Chief Tariq. Chief Tariq. I'm going to say it again. Chief Tariq. Right? And Chief Tariq, of course, we see him with his tarboosh on. Right? He got on his fez. Right? He got on his turban surrounding his fez. And it says Taki or Turkey or Tariq with the number 7. With the number 7. Wow. Why? If we was from Africa, why is all of this over here? I mean, if we were slaves, how was we doing all this? I'm just trying to understand it because I'm not understanding it. We get to dress up like we just playing dress up. And all this Moorish, Turkish, Berberish, American Indian, true American, Aboriginal, autochthonous garb. We just playing dress up, huh, y'all? Says the surrounding area in this well was part of Turkey's town or Tariq's town in Alabama. Alabama. Tariq's town. Once a capital of the proud Cherokee Nation, Chief Tariq or Sheikh Tariq was the principal chief during the late 1700s. Right? Because, see, he was one of the ones who brought about and continued the trade with this company right here. The Morocco Company. The Barbary Company. Which was created under the Anglo-Morocco peace treaty in the 1500s under Queen Elizabeth and the Sultan. You think it's a coincidence that Chief Tariq or Chief Turkey is just wearing a fez with a turban, like he's wearing a tarbouche with the number 7 on it, just because it's cute? All right, let's get into it because we still ain't wake up yet. Right? It says Morocco, the Morocco Company or Barbary Company. We already know where the barbarous tribes are. The barbarous nations are right here. We already got the map to show that. It says was a trading company established by Queen Elizabeth I of England in 1585 through a patent granted to the Earls of Warwick and Leicester, as well as 40 others. When she wrote the patents, Elizabeth emphasized the value of the region's diverse merchandise for use in defense of England. The privilege of the company was to benefit from exclusive trade for Morocco. Where was Morocco? Well, Morocco was in Florida, right? Or West Florida, to be exact. That's the location of where Morocco was at during that time period. Says for a period of 12 years until its charter expired in 1597. Queen Elizabeth sent her minister Roberts to the Moroccan Sultan Ahmad al-Mansur to reside in Morocco and obtain advantages for English traders. A treaty signed in 1728 extended these privileges, especially those pertaining to the safe conduct of English nationals. So let's see what the Morocco Company actually produced. Like, what was their trade? Their trade was international in cloth and sugar. Cloth and sugar. Well, where was they getting this sugar from? And where was they getting this cloth? You know, like cotton? Hmm. Hmm. Wasn't Alabama one of the largest cotton producers? And South Carolina one of the largest sugar cane producers in the world? Matter of fact, the whole corridor, Alabama, right? That whole West Florida corridor, Alabama up into Tennessee or Tennessee, right? Going into Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas. That corridor, I know that corridor very well because my family is up and down, our roots up and down that corridor, right? So it's real personal for me, like I keep telling y'all. This is the Orientalism, Occidentalism, and Anglo-Moroccan relations in the 16th and 17th centuries, a case study in historizing concepts of discord. All right, I'm gonna put that link for y'all so y'all can grab the map. All right, brother Barnesville, I see you back in the building. So here we go. This is by J.A.O.C. Brown. First performed in 1594, the Battle of Alcazar, a dramatization of the tripartite struggle of Morocco between Portugal, or the Port of Gaul, Portugal, or the Port of Gaul. I'm going to show you a map where the Port of Gaul is. The Ottomans and the local Said. Oh, I can't make this up if I want to. Man. The local Said dynasty. And we know the Saids are the direct descendants of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and Ali. Right? Right? Ain't that's who the Saids are? So it said the Ottomans and the local Said dynasty. Let me show you who these descendants of these dynasties look like. Culminating in the eponymous battle, also known as Al-Khazir al-Kabir, or Wadi al-Makhanza. What is it that? How do I pronounce that, babe? Makazan or Makazan or Makazan of 1578 opens with the scene apparently indicating contemporary Britons. So we know that the Britons, the original ones, look just like us, right? But they're talking about contemporary Britons. Them would be the ones called the Slavs, right? Because the word Slav was heavily associated with the Britons. Right? So it says, indicating contemporary Britons' stereotypical prejudiced and hostile view of Muslims. In it, Mulli Muhammad usurps the crown by murdering his uncle and nephews described by the narrator. This tyrant king of whence we treat sprang from the Arabian Moor. The Arabian Moor, black in his look and bloody in his deeds, and in his shirt stained with a cloud of gore, presents himself with naked sword in hand, accompanied as now you may behold, with devils coated in the shapes of men. In fact, the remainder of the play portrays the honor and courage of his villains' rivals, Muslim and Christian alike. The play closes as Mulli Muhammad Shi, i.e. Ahmad al-Mansur, consequent heir to the throne, orders a royal send-off jointly for the battle's victims. His older brother, Abdelmalek, and the Portuguese for the port of Guise king, Don Sebastian, commanding that the soldiers treated a sultan march, trailing their pikes and ensigns on the ground, so to perform the prince's funeral. The respectful and sympathetic portrayal of at least some of the Muslim characters in the play is not totally isolated in the drama of the time, which also includes plays such as The Courageous Turk, 1632, and Osman the Great Turk, 1654. Nevertheless, it was somewhat unusual for a period when the Terrible Turk or Furious Moor was common dramatic shorthand for inhumanity and barbarity. Now, the Great Turk, we saw the Great Turk, didn't we? Hey, let's go back to the Great Turk or the Great Tariq or the Great Turkey. Ain't that what we see right here? The Great Tariq, right here, right under the savannas, and Savannah Hill, right? The Great Tariq or the Great Turk. They're talking about us right here. It's talking about us right here. The Great Turkey. Tariq. I'm going to put this link in the chat for y'all. Moab TV says, Islam chef keep cooking. That's right. Shout out to Moab TV. Y'all go and subscribe to Moab TV. All right. That's the Great Turk, the Great Tariq. Right here in South Carolina. In the port of Gaul, the Portuguese, the port of Gaul, right? The Goulet or the Guale or the Gullah. Same people. Here we go to the encyclopedia. The Gule or the Gale, Spanish province in the state of Georgia. The Gules were a semi-agricultural Muskogean people. Didn't I tell y'all they was part of the Muskogean Confederacy? Who lived in southeastern North America at the time of their first contact with Europeans. Their territory stretched from St. Andrews Sound to Edisto Island on the coast, and their language was understood for 20 leagues inland. Sapalo or Sapalo Sound, which may hold the site of Lucas Vasquez de Leon's 1526 settlement of San Miguel de Miguel de Guarape, was an area of dense Gule or Gale or Gullah population. Didn't they tell us that the Gullah was from Africa? I mean, these people just make up, just keep making up lies. Just be lying all the time. A really good book for this information about the Gule, the Gullah, the Muskegeans, the Creek, the Seminoles, like this whole area and this concentrated is the battle for the Georgia coast. Hands down, one of the best primary resources that you're going to get. Battle for the Georgia coast. All right, this says Pedro Menendez de Alves or Alves visit the island of Gule, St. Catherine's Island, in 1566 and was received as a rainmaker. But early Jesuit and Franciscan efforts at conversion were hindered by the demands of the Spanish garrison at St. Helena or Paris Island. Shout out to Paris Island. And competition from French Cossar traders. The Gule or Gole rebellion in 1597 with its 5 Franciscan martyrs was a civil war between Spanish and French factions that ended in the conquest by Spain of coastal Gule or Gale or Gullah and its rebirth as a mission province. In the 17th century, the Christian towns of Gule served the presidio of St. Augustine as a buffer zone. All right. So Georgia for a long time was the buffer state between South Carolina and Florida. They needed Georgia to be that buffer state. Georgia for a long time was that buffer state. You got to understand that South Carolina was it had the port of Gaul, literally. Port Charleston, where they said most of the slaves came in through Charleston. We know, and we debunked that last week about them coming in from Africa. Because ain't no way they come in from Africa and directly into the Bermuda Triangle. That's cat. Say it again. There ain't no way that they come in from the west coast of Africa into the Bermuda Triangle to get into South Carolina. That's cap. All of the maps. We say it again. All of the maps for the transatlantic slave trade shows them coming in from the west coast of Africa directly into the Bermuda Triangle. All lies. Islam says as buffer zone, breadbasket, and labor enclave. The extent of population loss in the province due to disease and fugitivism was concealed by an influx of Yamassees who the Gules sent to do their labor service. Right? says in the 1680s, the trade rivalry of Charleston, just told you Charleston was the place to be. The rivalry of Charleston and assaults by pirates and by Indians with English firearms caused the province to shrink. The northern border retreated from St. Catherine's Island to Sapalo, then to Amelia. After Amelia Island was overrun by the forces of Colonel James Moore of Carolina in 1702, the last of the Gulles fled to the Presidio. Their few descendants were evacuated to Cuba in 1763 under the terms that ended the 7 Years' War. So, yeah, some of us went into Cuba, some of us just went and stayed on the islands. You gotta remember that Bermuda was a part of South Carolina at this time. And Bermuda has over 700 islands. Yeah. That part. Yeah. So, peace, Brother Barzell. I don't know how you got kicked off, Mo. But this right here is the Gullah or the Gule or the Guale corridor. Right? The Timacoas, the Guale, the Yamasee, Skokie, these are all the same people. The Creek, Cherokee, all the same. Same people. Put this link in the chat for you as well. You can grab it, study it. All right, bro. You said it's the Matrix is doing its best right now. Ah, Matrix won't let you be great. Oh man, I almost said the Matrix won't let him be great. All right, I'll put those links in the chat for you. What else we got here? All right, we got the 7 Years' Wars. We got, oh, that's where we want to go. Let's go look at this great Turkish empire in South Carolina. Its descendants, the descendants of the great Turkish empire. Right, because, you know, they got us thinking that we lived in some teepees. They got us thinking that we were hunter-gatherers. We didn't have no type. Have y'all seen the buildings in Charleston, South Carolina? Okay, have you seen the architect? Okay. All right. Have you seen the architecture? Have y'all seen the architecture? Is it just me? It can't just be me. I can't be the only one that's woke. I can't be the only one that's awakened. So here we are, the House of Kings, House of Queens, House of Warriors. The Moitoi dynasty, first beloved man of the Cherokee or the Cherokee, right? But they call this a dynasty. A dynasty. Right? And it's the coat of arms. Dynasty. All right, it says the illustrious story of the Moitoy overhill Cherokees and the monumental impact of their founding first family, a Moitoy I, king of Chota in the Great Calico, has been literally drowned in the depths of the Tennessee River. Some say it was intentional to hide the genesis of the Cherokee. This is the beginning of the Cherokee, or the area's unexplained American antiques and numerous overhill Cherokee mounds. Right, so you got Turkey Mount. Turkey Mountain is in North Carolina. You got Turkey Hill in South Carolina. You got Turkey, Turkey Stream in South Carolina. You got a lot of turkey going on in the Carolinas, in that area of the Tennessee, right? The Tanasi, or the Tennessee. Right? That was all at one point in time Carolina. So it says, monuments and artifacts not fitting into the mainstream academic explanation. That's the problem. None of this that we are teaching today fits in the mainstream academic explanation of American history. So it is constantly looked at as if, like we reaching. We just making it up as we go. As if we ain't got nothing else better to do. But more and more we keep finding this history right here in America. We're not finding it over the. You can't tell me that the west coast of Africa got one great dynasty outside of the one we created, which was Liberia, and we created that in the mid 1800s. I'm gonna say it again. You cannot tell me of one great ancient dynasty in all of West Africa besides Liberia, and we created that. That's what we created it. Yeah, Brother Barnesville, Tariq is Turkey. Yeah. I didn't realize it either until I was pronouncing it. Like, and I was looking at it on the map, and I was pronouncing it, and it just came out like Tariq. I was like, oh wow. Oh wow. This right here, this needs some bombs dropped on this. Wow. Yeah. So here we are with dynasty. Y'all ever heard of American Indian dynasty? Like, why we wasn't taught about it? We wasn't taught this. Unless you was directly a part of this family, and you was continued to be taught that this is who your family descended from, you wouldn't know this at all. Unless you are an American historic researcher, right? You wouldn't know this. Why? Why would they tell us about the dynasties that we had over here? Of course they wouldn't tell us that. Right? They still got us thinking that we came from through the Bermuda Triangle. Like, we made it. Mama, we made it. Woo! Alright, says says artifacts not fitted into the mainstream academic explanation of American history as we know it, which spans thousands, possibly tens of thousands of years and more. The history we all have been taught in school led us to believe that ancient America was a barren landmass occupied by a few of hunter-gatherer tribes who wandered across the Bering Strait after the Ice Age dubbed the Clovis. However, overwhelmingly new evidence discovered over the last several years has found evidence of an earlier indigenous population inhabiting the Americas before the so-called Clovis people. Through genealogy, scientific genetic findings, gene sequencing, encoding, tracking maternal and paternal bloodlines, this evidence, along with ancient remains discovered in archaeological mounds and sites, prove beyond a shadow of doubt that American Indian antiquity is in fact ancient. Most mainstream Cherokee history taught in schools start in the late 18th century with John Rolfe's The Greatest Cherokee, John Rolfe, born October 3rd, 1790, and the creation of the Dawes Rolls in 1893 and after. The Dawes Rolls Commission was created to accept applications for tribal enrollment between 1899 and 1907 from American Indians of 5 tribes. However, by utilizing a color code and blood qualifier, it actually became a formal legal mechanism for excluding some full-blood American Indians with a darker hue complexion. It systematically assisted in reclassifying many American Indian ethnicities as colored, Negro, Black, freedmen, or African. Because a number of our ancestors refused to surrender to the colonizing of the United States. Because a large number of our ancestors refused to surrender to the colonizing of the United States or be moved by way of the Trail of Tears, thousands, maybe millions of American Indians resisted and fought back for hundreds of years, decade after decade, until finally the resistance was forced to flee over the Appalachian Mountains, Cumberland Gap, and or down the rivers. A lot of us went into what we know today as Mexico. Y'all see this? This is Tariq right here. This is Tariq, Chief Tariq. This Chief Tariq right here, y'all. All right, this is Standing Chief Tariq, Moy Toy. Standing Chief Tariq. Got the lower settlements, middle settlements, valley settlements, overhill settlements. The original Cherokee and Moy Toy lineage, legacy, and incredible history has been snuffed out, robbed of culture, dismissed and stripped of heritage and identity. Disenfranchised. That's what the prophet did. He brought us back into the union. So we had franchise rights. Said disenfranchised, ignored, and reclassified as Negro, colored, mulatto, black, freedman, slave, and or African American. Our ancient history buried, burned, and in the case of the Overhills Cherokee country is all literally under the Tennessee or Tennessee River. One of the masterminds of Indian deception was Walter Plecker. One of the masterminds of Indian deception was Walter Plecker, a so-called doctor, eugenicist, and avowed white supremacist. Because eugenics is white supremacy. Eugenics is the Back to Africa movement. As a member of the Anglo-Saxon Club of America, he was also director of the Virginia Bureau of Vital Statistics from 1912 to 1946. He is solely responsible for the development and statewide execution of paper genocide. I will also add ethnocide. The art of killing off indigenous American population with the stroke of a pen through volunteer United States census takers. I keep telling y'all, stay away from those census. We are not to be taxed and enumerated. And new federal laws created at the time. This was a clever, unique form of opposition. We'll go down here so y'all can see what these descendants of Chief Tariq look like. Y'all might be related to them. Let's see. Here we go. This right here is this was Mama Lily. She looked real familiar. And she looked real familiar. This was her daughter, Mama Elnora. Mama Elnora. Her indigenous name meant light, the light. Right, and then Mama Roberta. Right? It says, the article you just read, House of Kings, House of Queens, House of Warriors, is the second documentary film currently in production from the producers of Ancient History Hunters, Straight Out of America. Available at ancienthistoryhunter.com. Right? I'm going to put this link in there for y'all as well. Because they did a good job. They did a real good job in getting rid of our history. I mean, that erasure was good. Yeah, so if anybody want to know about the original Turks in South Carolina, there you go. Okay, Miguel. I'll put the link in the chat for everybody. If you want to come up on the panel, it's open. But yeah, we're gonna keep cooking. I know it's the season has changed. We in fall now, so we got fall cookouts. We're going since it's the fall season, we're gonna have tailgate parties. Yeah, so these are the tailgate parties for the fall. Yeah, make sure y'all continue to check us out. I think I'm gonna be back here tomorrow. I'll be going over some things you can do with credit restoration. Something else you can put in your arsenal to assist you in your credit restoration. Shout out to the descendants of the Turks, the descendants of Tariq. Man, we've been playing a long time. Y'all see that crescent moon that's around that crescent moon plate that's around his chest? So that is his says King Charles CH the third. So here says King Charles the third. All right, King Charles the third. So yeah, we've been getting it in. You know, they've been playing with us for far too long, and we've been getting it in. Again, this is Great Tariq or Great Turkey, right? And Little Tariq or Little Turkey. And shout out to my husband, because like I said when I first came on, that he gave me a gift today as he was cleaning up the yard like an hour before we came on and started. He found this in the front yard. I was like, wow, I can't make this up. I was like, do you know what my topic is for today? He was like, no. I was like, it's about turkey. He found this in our front yard an hour before I came on. Yeah, right in our front yard. Can't make this up if I wanted to. Yeah. All right, Miguel, you said chat replay. How do I get the chat replay? I know you said it's in. It's in the studio. Let's see. Yeah, I got a Turkish $10. Turkish $10. Hold on, let me see. I don't see it, Miguel. You said go to click on the comments. Yeah, I don't see it, Miguel. Oh, let me see if I can go down here. Yeah, it shows me where I can, like hold comments. I see that section. And I can see where it allows me to disable comments, allow all comments. I don't know, Miguel, I don't see it. I'm gonna have to I guess get you to show me how to do it when I get off of here. You said make sure you click on the chat replay in YouTube Studios before your stream ends. Stay the links in the chat. Chat replay. Yeah, I don't see the chat replay. Oh, okay, yeah. It's already I see it. Yeah, it's already on there. I see it. Yeah, it's already checked off for it. But shout out to my little big brother, Miguel. Peace, Brother Barnesville. They're gonna let you be great today. The Matrix.
Islam.
I
made it.
You made it.
The avatar made it through the portal.
Man.
The womb.
Well, that was a struggle.
Man, it reminds me about 25 years ago.
But stop it. You don't even remember what you was doing 25 years ago. Oh my goodness.
I was fighting them other droplets. Making it to the egg. Islam. I'm a survivor.
Like you knew what you was doing.
Allah knows best.
Allah definitely knows best. Yeah, so what you think about these original Turks from South Carolina?
Come on now. Let me be great.
You breaking up.
Right.
Peace to the room. Peace to the room. Peace to the room.
Islam. Two descendants of Hagar. Chief protectors of the Islamic creed. Islam, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Islam.
Islam Empress, did you explain to them this came right before the show started today?
I told him an hour before you.
I didn't hear that part. I had to step out.
Oh, these Turks,
This was sent to her
it
by
is
the
legitimate.
ancient ones. It had to be. I called everyone back to see if they dropped a $10 bill in Turkish money, and no one knew anything about any money. They said, brother, that's why I came to you. I didn't have no money. Not even Turkish money. So definitely, we praise Allah. Signs and symbols is for the conscious mind. I'm out there picking up the yard with this big old bill just sitting right there. Islam.
Islam.
You can't make this up. There go the receipt right there. Look at it. We ain't printing no Turkish money.
Yeah. No, we ain't printing no Turkish money.
Oh no.
Oh, they ain't gonna let Barzell be great.
Well, praise Allah that the Moors are definitely waking up to understand that we are at home. You know, for many years, Moors been saying it, but they never really talk in depth to make it add up. Like the brother kept saying, it's making sense now. That's what this is about. More science is about making it add up, making it make sense. A lot of those Bible stories that y'all believe in and take to be the truth, you know it don't add up. But you're going to keep riding with it anyway. You see what I'm saying? That's not what we're into. Nor was our ancient forefathers into that. That's falsehood. Islam. It's got to add up. It's got to make sense. So the gig is up. All of us did not come over here. A lot of us are at home.
The gig is up.
The gig is up. So y'all can quit telling us to go back to Africa. We are at home. All these different platforms are starting to hear it and see it day and night. It's the everlasting gospel that Noble Drew Ali was speaking about.
That's right.
It's the everlasting gospel. I mean, in our holy night, we had the brother chairman who went back to 1893? Or was it 1863? It was before the prophet, wasn't it? Or was it right after the prophet was born?
63.
63. So a lot of people say this is pseudo. This is not pseudo. This is ancient history hidden from you, remixed, put in Hollywood, supported by Hollywood, supported by their...
Oh, no. He said 1893. My bad.
1893. I thought I heard 1893. It's wrong.
It was in the book Morocco as It Is, and it talked about the Moorish Americans and Sultan.
Swan.
American Sultan. Yeah.
But we're not trying to be some Arabs. We're not trying to act like some Turks. We're speaking about the Turks that was over here that look like you and I. We're not giving you Morocco over there. Did I say peace? Wow.
That's all right. Shout out to brother Omi Bay. Truth, that old blood type is the oldest in the world. Facts.
I just got off the building with brother Omi Bay. Yes. And definitely, the brother got himself together and he's ready to share some things with the Moorish Science Temple of America. Islam.
Islam, that's awesome. Yeah, Moors, we home. You know, so what we gonna do about it? You know?
That's the question. What are we going to do about it? I know us as officers inside of the temple, our job is to sit here and keep waiting for all our brothers and sisters of the Asiatic family. Let's sit down and network. Let's see how we can grow food from state to state. Let's see how we can start. I mean, everything that every other nation is doing, let us start doing it. And we can do it in small steps.
Islam.
You do it in small steps, and it will work for us if we work it.
That's right.
Keep your God out front, believe in your ancient forefathers, and all will be well. Islam.
Islam. Yeah, I'm reaching out to the Moors. We need 25 families beginning in the month of November. 25 families who will donate $100 to a fund to start a business. All right.
Slime. That's why I said the brother that's on the line with us now, talking about getting gold and silver and sending it into home office. He said, I don't want to deal with you until I got my gold and silver ready. We said Islam to that.
Islam. We got a lot of Moors who have sent gold and silver, paid with gold and silver. We provide them with a actual certificate. And I come to convention. Come to convention. I'm going to be showing everybody how to monetize these securities. We got a lot of security.
Sister, you know they don't teach that in other temples.
And we got a lot of assets just sitting around.
You doing your own thing. You and Artney Bay over there doing your own thing now. What's going on?
Good. That's what's up.
And we're not doing our own thing. The Prophet Britell said to us,
thing is growth and development, and that's the fine instructions from the Holy Prophet, who said, once I need to go and study myself, and once I finish studying, I need to go and study myself some more. So if you talking about doing my own thing and studying self, you daggone right. That's what I'm on. I am in divine order.
And not only that, the prophet said we're building on our human needs. Everything we're teaching and sharing in home office is building on our human needs. It's not we get rich or we keep some people, some membership type stuff. We're speaking on government and law. Government and law, along with history. True history, not that stuff they've been teaching us in the temple.
That's right.
A lot of the temples teach that we are African descendants. They've been teaching it forever. They take from the Pan-African scholars and they remix it and make it Moors.
That's right.
I call it lazy man stuff. Okay? That's lazy. Because we know that Noble Drew Ali didn't just give us something from out of nowhere.
That stuff, then that whole the latest Pan-African push, that didn't come until the 70s with Britell Cohen and the CIA funded African society through Columbia University. So yeah, we gotta know when we talk about these so-called great African scholars who told us and reminded us that we were from Africa, right? Talking about Dr. John Henry Clark. Why Dr. John Henry Clark ain't never tell us about his great Irish family, right? Why he ain't never tell us that? I did his genealogy. His genealogy go back to like almost the 1400s, y'all. Why he ain't talk about that? Why he ain't talk about that? Make it make sense. Make any of that make sense. Man, we're gonna stop playing. Indeed, Brother Omi Bates, I've been watching Lil Bay growing his community and lifting for years. Many are we needed here in Oregon. Portland is falling. That's right, young God said, page full of jewels. Indeed. Let's get this work, Moors. I'll be back here tomorrow. Make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you like, share to all your social media platforms. Subscribe. Once you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so that you'll get all notifications when we go live. Right? See you back here tomorrow, inshallah. And I enjoyed this lesson. So yeah, when they ask you about the original Turks in South Carolina, you got somewhere you can go to show them that, yeah, these were actual original Turks in South Carolina. Peace and love.
Protecting my peace for so long, a little too good, now I'm so low. Watching reruns of the same shows, almost everybody I'm a no-show. Even with green lights I don't go. Never been sure, no I don't know. How does everybody else let go of the ego? Don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I could. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah, yeah. If you would show me, yeah, yeah. I spent so much time daydreaming, and now I don't know how I'm feeling. Don't know who is the real me. Might need my help that I thought I needed. I can see it. Need more healing, more believing, less deceiving. I don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I could. If you would show me, yeah. If you would show me, yeah, yeah. If you would show me, yeah, yeah. I might need therapy too. Help dilute all the bad news, 'cause I just can't deal with the lose-lose situations you have to go through. I think I need therapy now. Recycling all the same doubts. Heard it a million times, 'cause I tell myself all the same lies. I might need therapy too. Help dilute all the bad news, 'cause I just can't deal with the lose-lose situations you have to go through. I think I need therapy now. Recycling all the same doubts. Heard it a million times, 'cause I tell myself all the same lies. Don't go out nearly as much as I should. Barely know the way around my neighborhood. I'm ruminating, I feel no good. Not living life like I know I could. Like I know I could. Like I know I should. Like I know I could. Oh, if you would show me, if you would show me, yeah, yeah. If you would show me, yeah, yeah. Protecting my peace.